On my kicker tonight, a ridiculous conversation has been going on in Mount Kenya. A conversation that thankfully, or should I say hopefully, involves a very small section of elected politicians from that region. You must have heard of calls to split Mount Kenya into two distinct blocks, Mount Kenya East and Mount Kenya West. If you haven't heard of it, here is a recap from Public Service Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku.
Tunawaambia hata kama ni mlima tutaikata mara mbili tupate title deed yetu ya Mount Kenya East na wao wakae na title deed yao ya Mount Kenya West. Mnanielewa? Yes.
Just a brief background. The scramble for the Mbeere North parliamentary seat in the recent by-election occasioned a bitter contest between supporters of President William Ruto's governing UDA party and supporters of impeached former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. UDA campaigns were led by Deputy President Kindiki Kithure, who hails from the eastern side of Mount Kenya, while Gachagua, whom he replaced as DP, hails from Nyeri in the western side of Mount Kenya. And just like that, the Mbeere North by-election became a Kindiki versus Gachagua, a Mount Kenya East versus Mount Kenya West duel. But trouble is, it didn't seem to end there. Here is CS Ruku again.
Kwa mtoto nilikuwa tunasoma Biblia ya Kikuyu. Mimi sio Mkikuyu. Mimi nilikuwa mtoto nilikuwa nafundishwa mother tongue ya Kikuyu. Mimi sio Mkikuyu. Those are historical injustices ambazo zimefanyiwa watu ya Meru, watu ya Embu, watu ya Tharaka Nithi na wa Kikuyu. I will say that.
Please. Fellow Kenyans, this is new to me. You know, we have had ethnic problems in this country, including deadly tribal clashes. In fact, there were some in Angata Barikoi 2 days ago in my sub-county of Transmara. I have never in my life heard of tension, let alone clashes between the Kikuyu of Mount Kenya West and CS Ruku's Mbeere tribe of Mount Kenya East. I mean, is it really that bad between the so-called East and West of Mount Kenya? Is CS Ruku real? Is there bad blood between the Mbeere and the Kikuyu? Does CS Ruku represent the true feelings of the Mbeere in relation to their Kikuyu neighbors? I am eager to learn more. And what if the point being made so recklessly was just a basic political one?
Tuliwashikilia miaka 15 na President Kenyatta. Tukawashikilia miaka 10 na Kibaki. Tukawashikilia miaka ingine 10 na Uhuru. Sasa Mungu ametusaidia tukapata deputy, hata si president, deputy wa huku kwetu anaitwa Profesa Kithure. Sasa raundi hii ni nyinyi mrudishe mkono Mheshimiwa Ishomu.
Oh, okay. So is that all it's about? If my geography and history is not wrong, President Kibaki's presidency was largely run from Mount Kenya East most of the time, but a story for another day. Away from the Mount Kenya East and the west of the mountain, there is the south. That is Mount Kenya South, Kiambu County. A few months ago, it was the turn of some leaders from Kiambu to get something off their chests. They were tired of Mount Kenya. Here they are.
Watu wa Kiambu County tuko na kura nyingi sana. Tuko na 1.4 million votes. Hiyo ni kama kushikanisha Nyeri County, Murang'a County, Kirinyaga County na Laikipia County zote pamoja. Na hatutaki serikali kiongozwa na rais wetu William Ruto akuwe akisema akienda Mount Kenya ameenda Kiambu. Kiambu County tumesimama kama region. Tunataka maendeleo yetu, mipangilio yetu, maminister wetu, ma-PS wetu, pesa yetu, lakini siwekwe pamoja na pesa ya huku kwingine. Wao wapewe pesa yao. kwa sababu sisi uongozi wetu haupitangi mto wa Chania.
Hakuna kaunti nyingine after Nairobi iko na kura kama zile ziko Kiambu. Kwa hivyo serikali inapopewa kura na watu wa Kiambu, inafaa pia kuangalia na jicho lingine ambalo ni zaidi ya wale wengine, kwa sababu hata kura zetu ni mingi.
So from Mbeere to Kiambu, it seems Mount Kenya is getting tired of Mount Kenya. How ridiculous does that sound? Even if it's just for politics. Surely, hata kama ni siasa, I don't think Mount Kenya, whether east, west, north, or south, should self-destruct. As a region that attained political consciousness ahead of the rest, Mount Kenya cannot avoid the burden and power of example. What that means on the ground in Mount Kenya, east or west, is simply this, especially east. Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku must sound like he shares at least a geographic, if not ethnic lineage, with late former Cabinet Minister Jeremiah Nyaga. That is my kicker.